Colin Kaepernick is a white liberal puppet. Colin Kaepernick wants you to believe that the family that adopted him was racist. He wants you to believe that America is so racist that corporations are willing to pay him millions of dollars, whether he's playing football or not. Colin Kaepernick wants you to believe that he is a victim, that he is oppressed, even though he has benefited from the system this entire time. Then he also wants you to believe that millionaires don't have privilege. Again, he's controlled by white liberals. This narrative is put out there so that you and I don't try when it comes to this thing called life. They tell us no matter what we do, we will always be oppressed. But ironically, somehow, the people giving us this message manage to succeed in spite of the oppression.
I'm telling you what I want.
The University of Nevada gave Colin Kaepernick a scholarship. The NFL paid Colin Kaepernick. Nike is paying Colin Kaepernick. Netflix has paid Colin Kaepernick. And a white family adopted Colin Kaepernick. So far on record, the only entity or individuals we know that have stabbed Colin Kaepernick in the back is Jay-Z. The irony. One of the most dangerous things for our community is to identify as Black. And I say that because we don't control what Black is. What Black is controlled by white liberals. White liberals control the consciousness of Black America. So that means that the very thing that we identify with is the very thing that is used to control us. Hence, why it works so well. Colin Kaepernick wore a Kunta Kinte shirt to identify himself as a slave. Now, why would he identify himself as a slave today? I'll tell you, because he wants you to identify yourself as a slave. And if you identify yourself as a slave, then that means that God doesn't exist and freedom doesn't exist. Therefore, you are oppressed and there's no need for you to try. All of this goes back to you all not trying and giving 100% when it comes to this thing called life. And now all of your failures can be blamed on systemic racism. This is mind control. This is manipulation. This only works because there's an emotional tie-in to the imagery that you are shown. And the fact of the matter is, there were slaves that paid for their freedom. You might ask yourself, how is it possible for a slave to pay for their freedom? Exactly. Many of you all didn't even come from a lineage of slavery, but white liberals will tell you otherwise because they want you to identify yourself as a slave. White players in the NFL aren't considered slaves. Think about that. All of these players go into the NFL and only the melanated ones are seen as the slaves. But history has shown us that there were white slaves as well. Do you see why all this is propaganda? This is mind control. These are tools used to deceive you, to manipulate you, to get you to view yourself as something lesser than. And if you view yourself as something lesser than, then you will take anything that white liberals have to offer. Colin Kaepernick belongs to the top 1% of America, but he wants you to believe that he's oppressed. Colin Kaepernick is refusing to give up on his dream of returning to the NFL and leading another team to the Super Bowl. In a new interview with Ebony Magazine, the former San Francisco 49ers quarterback and activist said he still practices daily in case a professional football team calls. I am still up at 5 a.m. training 5-6 days a week, making sure I'm prepared to take a team to the Super Bowl again. Kaepernick told the publication, "That's not something I will ever let go of, regardless of the actions of 32 teams and their partners to deny me employment." The same way I was persistent in high school is the same way I'm going to be persistent here. This man is literally still trying to play in the NFL. Pray for him, y'all, please.
How are you going to say, you're talking out of both sides of your face, you're going to say on one side, the NFL is racist. And then you're going to say, I practice every day so I can get back in the NFL. Put him back in. Put him back in. And make sure that the ball is made out of cotton. Put Toby on his jersey and give him 3 cents a day. That's my 2 cents on it. Because me personally, I wouldn't hire nobody that don't like me. But, hey, the NFL, you do whatever you want. Okay? That's my 2 cents. Give him 3 cents a day. Call his ass Toby. Okay? And make sure that his helmet got a cutout for that old raggedy ass afro that he done made up with some gel and hairspray. If you don't go somewhere and sit down.
Look, man, I am tired of that. I am not passing. I am black. Do you hear me, man? Do you understand? I am black. I'm a nigga. You understand me? I was born black. I live black. And I'm gonna die probably because I'm black. Because some cracker that knows I'm black better than you, nigga, is probably gonna put a bullet in the back of my head.
But I want to leave you all with the question. If Colin Kaepernick was winning Super Bowls as a starting NFL franchise quarterback, do you think he would have ever taken the time to kneel? Wait for it. Freeblanch, get money. Go.